Hello everybody, this is Phones of Bob here, and welcome to race number 14 of the 2020-21 NROL Siemens National Series season. This is the Downer 250 at Calder Park Raceway. It is the second of two races for the Siemens National Series Down Under, and this time though we come to a more traditional racetrack. We're here at it's an oval. It's an oval, but it's an interesting oval. It's like a sort of intermediate short oval. It's about 1.1 miles in length. So it's an oval. It's a more traditional track. So these drivers should be used to this kind of challenge. That being said, however, after what we saw last weekend at Sandown, I wonder what we'll see this time. It's gonna be different, but should still be fun. So with that being said, let's give you your starting grid for this race. Starting the pool for this one is Balcom Films. On time second is Ryan Sieg. Third is Cody Goforth. Fourth is Chase Briscoe. Fifth is Brandon Jones. Sixth is Matthew Brown. Seventh is DJ Reed. Eighth is Harrison Burton. Ninth is Daniel Hemrick. 10th is Justin Haley. 11th is Noah Gregson. 12th is Anthony Logan. 13th is Nia. 14th is Greg Graff. 15th is Michael Annette. 16th is John Doe. 17th is Russell David. 18th is Ed Wood. 19th is Sebastian Vickelon. 20th is Nathan Mond. 21st is Jose Mills. 22nd is Zachary Viswara Sr. 23rd is AJ Allmayer. 24th is Henne. 25th is Anthony Alfredo. 26th is Ron Stain. 27th is Keisha Richardson. 20th is Casey Nico. 29th is Uber Expos. 30th is Tom Manassi. 12 more sports rookies in the same row. 31st is Austin Murray. 32nd is Priya McShane. 33rd is Jason Holgar. 34th is Dean Blue. 35th is Paul Zindrick. 36th is Shane Lamb. 37th is Riley Herbst. 38th is Bob Hunter. 39th is Aaron River. 4th is Mike Snyder. And 41st is Can't Drive. Okay. So, Calder Park Raceway. This isn't just any track. This is where the NROL series raced way back in the 1980s. Yes, the NRL Cup Series came here for a special exhibition race, but now we are back for a pair of points races. Of course, first up we have the Siemens Nash Series, and it's going to be interesting to see how the Cup Series takes this track tomorrow. But for today, the young guns and some veterans are taking to this track. Also, BioQuadland Films are on the pole for this one. Yeah, the BioQuadland Films backed by the wheel of the over 9000 car. And this is actually a bit of a home race for BioQuadland Films, as he somewhat originated from Australia. So, BioQuadland Films decided to take to driving the over 9000 car today. As like I said, home race for BioQuadland Films. So, let's see if he can put a victory lane for the second time this season. Anyway, pace car is pulled off. And green flag is in the air for the Downer 250 at Calder Park Raceway. Balcom booms off a bit of a launch already. It looks like the inside lane's a bit dominant here. Cody Goforth though with the speed on the inside lane. High lane though as well, doing pretty well, and Balcom Films already pulling away from this pack as Cody Goforth now and others on the various stuff going on here for second. Yeah, a bit of a battle for second between Cody Goforth and Ryan Sieg. Cody Goforth doing pretty well, holding his position. But it is quite dicey to start this one. Cody Goforth, though, is going to pull in a second. Ryan Sieg as well, pulling behind. One thing I forgot to mention in the intro, this is the first race. Oh, whoops. I didn't go to fast lap. I do apologize for that on the scoreboard. And this is the first race that I'm recording on my my computer with the solid state drive. So, I'm not sure if there's going to be any effects. We'll see. But if you do notice any differences from this race to last race as far as the broadcast stuff, this is the first race on my new solid state drive, so that's why that might be a difference. I'm not noticing any difference now, but oh well. Anyway, so Cody Goforth and Ryan Sieg pulled a bit of away from the pack here. Daniel Hemrick now going side by side with Harrison Burton. Meanwhile, Matthew Brown, last week's winner, is a bit of a sitting duck at the moment between these guys in fourth. Seems all the battling though is still back here as drivers are still trying to break away. So Harrison Burton now in a battle with, of course, Daniel Hemrick. So we're going to see who prevails in this battle here. Pretty high speed track though. Meanwhile, up here, though, there's not too much battling. Everyone's staying in single file, but then again, it is pretty early in the race. But we'll see if Ryan Sieg chooses to make a move around Cody Goforth, and at least we can get to the Bow Column Films. Ryan Sieg actually looking beneath Cody Goforth, although he's got to find the best opportunity to stick his nose underneath Cody Goforth to overtake him for second. Although Cody Goforth probably doesn't want Ryan Sieg to do anything with him, as Cody Goforth looking at trying to chase down Bow Column Films for the lead. So we got Ryan Sieg, who's been around for quite a while, and Bow Column Films as well, who's ran a number of races as well. Cody Goforth, however, the rookie, trying to face off a couple veterans. Yeah, so Bow Column Films on his second year driving part-time for Tobal Motorsports in the Siemens National Series. However, Bow Column Films already a winner this year. He got his first win at the Pensacola Road Course. So let's see if he can get a second win in his home country. Top three, though, stuck together. Matthew Brown currently all by himself, pulling away. Actually, the field is starting to spread out quite a bit. And Daniel Hemrick is actually pulled away, and same for Anthony Logan. I think there was actually a bit of a kerfuffle a little while back, so let's actually rewind and see what actually happened that caused this separation in the pack, because it seemed like something happened here. Now it's just a matter of Hemrick just breaking away. I see. And Anthony Logan's done the same. The field getting a bit spread out. Top three, though, they have come together. And Matthew Brown trying to get into this as well. Although with the nature of this track, passing seems to be a bit difficult. Bow Column Films has got the best launch on the start of the race, has led every lap so far. It's going to be interesting to see how much longer can it keep this lead for. Things might start to get a bit hairy here as Ryan Sieg is now looking low on Cody Goforth. Although Can't Drive is going to slow him up. Oh dear, and Bow Column Films and Cody Goforth at the wall. And Matthew Brown, who was just sticking by these guys, now getting together. Anyway, Cody Goforth is now right to the back end of Bow Column Films. And Ryan Sieg would have successfully overtaken Cody Goforth, but Can't Drive had to come in and mess things up a bit. So Cody Goforth once again, or well, I say that Cody Goforth now trying to overtake Bow Column Films for the lead. But Ryan Sieg, he had a chance, man. That kind of stinks for Ryan Sieg. He actually got a pretty good run on Cody Goforth and looked like he was going to overtake him, but unfortunately Can't Drive came in and messed him up. So the positions remaining unchanged. Although now it's just these two running first and second with each other. So Cody Goforth now having to try to find a way around Bow Column Films. It's going to be difficult, though. Might take some time. You know, these guys back here now having to make up the ground again. So Ryan Sieg, all that ground that he had on the guys in front of him, he's going to have to make that all over again if he's going to eventually catch up to Cody Goforth and overtake him. Well, it's got Matthew Brown, who's running pretty good to start this race. Matthew Brown trying to sweep the Australian stretch for the Siemens National Series. Anyway, Cody Goforth still looking to get around Bow Column Films. Meanwhile, Daniel Hemrick from behind, he's catching up to these guys. And here goes Matthew Brown, who sends it beneath Ryan Sieg, but he couldn't quite make it the overtake. He might actually lose a spot to Daniel Hemrick if he can get to him. Oh dear. Man, Matthew Brown, he had some momentum to get it around Ryan Sieg, but just lost it into the corner. Now Cody Goforth trying to do the same thing on Bioco Island Films. Looks like it's hard to pass here at Calder Park Raceway. Meanwhile, bit of a developing battle for fourth between Daniel Hemrick and Matthew Brown. Daniel Hemrick really hasn't had much success in his limited starts for the 8 car here at Junior Motorsports. And now he's trying to prove that he belongs. He's looking beneath Matthew Brown. Now, Cody Goforth still trying to get around Balcom Films. Well, we haven't actually seen any passing since the start of the race. We almost had one, but can't drive strikes. Yeah, I guess it must have been nice for these drivers not having to deal with can't drive last week. But this week, though, we have an extra grid slot open, and can't drive, who's racing for points, decided he would fill that vacancy. Yeah. Okay, Cody Goforth, though, he's close to the back of the Balcom Films. It has been the past couple laps. So if he can just stay close enough to the rear end of Balcom Films, he can send it into the corner. That said, Funderbaum would probably prefer for Balcom Films to stay in the lead. But Cody Goforth, yeah, he wants that win too. Cody Goforth is still yet to score victory in this season. We're actually getting close to the halfway point in the Siemens National Series season. I say close, still a couple races left. So, no real rush, I suppose. Meanwhile, developing battle for fourth now. Matthew Brown once again trying to get around Ryan Sieg. But once again, he just can't get them off the corner. Wow. So even if drivers can overtake others going into the corner, it seems they have a hard time keeping the momentum coming out of the corner. The best that Matthew Brown can do here is get underneath Ryan Sieg on a straightaway and overtake them going into the corner, and hopefully be ahead of them once they get to corner exit. Cody Goforth especially striking with that. Here he goes. Here goes Cody Goforth to the inside of Balcom Films. This is what's required for an overtake. And Cody Goforth drives into the inside lane. And how about that? Still side by side on the back straightaway. But Cody Goforth showing that it is possible to overtake drivers on track. He's still side by side with Balcom Films. This is still a pretty good battle. Cody Goforth mother run on the front straightaway. And actually, speaking of which, there's a bit of side-by-side battle on here as well, as Ryan Sieg as well is getting beat by Matthew Brown. Meanwhile, these two are still side-by-side for the lead. This is a pretty good battle between Balcom Films and Cody Goforth, so how long until one is able to prevail. Meanwhile, in the back, two battling at once. Yeah, Matthew Brown has unsuccessfully overtaken Ryan Sieg for that position. I do apologize if I missed any battles, but unfortunately it's impossible for me to show two battles at the same time. But Cody Goforth, unfortunately, couldn't quite successfully complete a pass, and is going to wind up giving up the spot to Balcom Films. Meanwhile, back here, Matthew Brown, who had overtaken Ryan Sieg, looks like Ryan Sieg is trying to get that spot back. Meanwhile, Cody Goforth is taking the high line as Balcom Films heads down pit road. Looks like Balcom Films heading for his first pit stop of the day. Alright. So Cody Goforth now cycles to the lead at Calder Park. So battling was going on though. Anyway, the front runner is now coming down pit road. Alright. So now we'll see what happens as a result of green flag pit stops. See who cycles where. At the moment, though, Austin Murray is now cycled to first. But these guys are going to have to come up pit road as well. Now Bogdan Films off of pit road. He's got Matthew Brown behind him. Let's see where Bogdan Films cycles out to once pit stops, or once pit cycle is complete. Cody Goforth can't quite go off pit road fast enough. Anthony Logan, who looks like he picked up a spot here. And it looks like Bogdan Films will cycle back to the lead this time by. A few guys still get to pit though. Feels a little bit spread out. So let's see how long until how long until get back together. So Matthew Brown now trying to keep up with Bogdan Films, and I see some yellow lights. The caution has come out. Clearly there was a bit of an accident happening up front. That's going to be our first caution of the day. Wow. Well then. I didn't expect there to be a caution, but... well, let's see what happened to bring out this caution. First caution today at Keller Park Race. It looks like it happened on the back stretch. Let's see if it had to do with someone potentially... oh, it was can't drive? What happened here? Oh. Looks like can't drive is going excruciatingly slow, so nothing to do with pit road. It was in fact can't drive. Already had some damage, or some scrapes. Comes off the corner, hits the wall, and gets hit by Brandon Jones. And Shane Lamb gets involved as well, and Freya McShane, who has absolutely horrid luck this season, gets involved into yet another caution. Wow. So see that again, so can't drive. So he hits the wall, which sends him to the inside, and Brandon Jones with absolutely nowhere to go just hits right into him and spins him out. Nathan Mon as well getting involved. Oh dearie, dearie me. It's never a good day for can't drive, is it? Well, we'll line him up and start him off again. Bogdan Films actually having to squeeze his way through the pack to try to get, or win the race back to the line. Well, we've just seen pit stops, so we're only going to see pit stops again, but you never know. Can't drive though with a big damage, he's definitely going to pit. Brandon Jones also might have to pit, and so Freya McShane as they now have some damage. But ultimately we'll line them up and see. Oh no, wow. Wow, so they just pit, they're gonna pit again. Okay. Except for Casey Yannico. So the entire field actually pitting again. In fact, the only ones stayed out were Can't Drive and Casey Yannico, and Casey Yannico was actually already at the back of the pack. I'm not sure if he had pitted yet, but we're gonna see in a little bit. Andy Brown first off pit road, and all the front runners starting right back where they were. Edward though, he got a fast pit stop. So overall, no big differences in position changes, but Anthony Alfredo, he was pretty fast off pit road as well. Oh no, it couldn't be Bogdan Films actually. Never mind. Okay. So Can't Drive and Casey Yannico pitting this lap. That's gonna put Matthew Brown in the lead along with Daniel Hemrick falling in behind in second. And Balcom Films now has lost a couple spots on pit road, on pit road indeed. But we'll see if he can make up those 2 spots. So here's the field as of now. Meanwhile, Can't Drive, actually I'm pretty good as of right now, and Casey Nico, who didn't pit the first time, is now going to, well, he's pitted now. So, he's going to have to go to the tail end of the field. Shane Lamb and Brian Jones, those guys got held up a bit. Probably to fix the damage. Like, Kenner got the worst of it, so it's going to be interesting to see what damage repairs are done to him. Anyways. So, now with that complete, let's see what happens next. So, it's out on the pace car. And Can't Drive is back on the track. So, we're on the high line, actually. Casey Nico actually coming up. Guess he's a lap down. Oh, and Can't Drive is going to be up here as well. Can't Drive actually have to get him on the track as fast as he can. So where's the field now? They're on the back straightaway. So Can't Drive going as quickly as possible. But we are about to restart, so we can't quite wait for Can't Drive. So pace car is about to pull off. Matthew Brown gonna lead them off. Is Can't Drive just catching up? Here he is. Gets right in nick of time. And green flag is back in the air at Calder Park Raceway. Matthew Brown with a bit of a flyer, but Balcom Films now trying to get to the inside of Daniel Hemrick. And Balcom Films already succeeds in getting around Daniel Hemrick, although now he's being slowed up by Casey Nanico, who is gonna... Balcom Films. So Balcom Films did pretty good at beating Daniel Hemrick, but Daniel Hemrick, though, still with the speed advantage on the outside lane. Things are quite dicey. Balcom Films will do everything he can to get an edge on Daniel Hemrick. It looks like he will. If he can shut the door on him. Almost. Yes, Balcom Films shuts the door. Well, no, he hasn't shut it quite yet, as Daniel Hemrick still trying to keep up. Although the cars going on the inside lane might slow up Hemrick a bit. As Balcom Films doing everything he can to get ahead of Thingamajiggy, of Daniel Hemrick. Meanwhile, Casey Nanico, despite being a lap down, is now trying to stay to the back end of Matthew Brown. And Balcom Films now successfully pulled a bit of a distance now. So Balcom Films now back up to second. Meanwhile, Casey Nanico now trying to unlap himself by trying to get around Matthew Brown. And that's going to help out Balcom Films, who's going to be able to use the inside lane, which Matthew Brown can't use. So Balcom Films using Casey Nanico as a pit before he even gets there. As Casey Nanico, Casey Nanico has got the inside line, that's allowing Balcom Films to have the superior inside line, and Balcom Films is now back up to the lead, and he's going to try to chase down and challenge Matthew Brown to take the lead back in this race. Although now the Balcom Films here, he's going to try to find a way around both these guys, as Matthew Brown is stuck on the high line. Casey Nanico has actually successfully gone around Matthew Brown, which is giving the lap back to Casey Nanico. And now Balcom Films goes low on Matthew Brown, who goes high. And battle for the lead is on, and Balcom Films trying to get around Matthew Brown quickly as possible. Meanwhile, drivers behind are not catching up, trying to get into the action. And Balcom Films took a nice job, and Balcom Films back to the lead at Calder Park Raceway. Balcom Films really wants to win on a track that is kind of his home turf. As Balcom Films couldn't race last year in the over 9,000 cars, that was taken up by Floyd DeBalbin, who was trying to get some practice at for Sandown. However, this is a more conventional track, so Floyd DeBalbin doesn't quite need the practice this time, so he's let fellow Toba Motorsports part-timer Balkan Films to drive this over 9,000 car for this race. His can't drive is slowing up again. Definitely going to mess up the field a bit. Looks like the leaders though going to get by without any problems at all. And Casey Anico, who now has his lap back in 40th, but if another caution were to come out, Casey Anico was destined to get his lap back. For now though, Balkan Films holds his position in first. Balkan Films has been the most dominant driver today. He led a lot of laps all the way up until pit stops. And due to the restart, you know, Balkan Films had to get a flying launch, and he did it. Although now he's got to put up with Casey Anico for a little bit, unless Casey, well, as long as Casey Anico just doesn't do anything silly, and neither does Matthew Brown, then Balkan Films is good. Although if Matthew Brown were to potentially get to the back end of Balkan Films, I'm sure that Balkan Films will want to get around Casey Anico as quickly as possible. So, man, top two is quite the duo in this race. You have Balkan Films trying to win in his home country, and you have Matthew Brown who's trying to sweep the Australian stretch. And Balkan Films still looking beneath Casey Anico. And here goes Balkan Films as he now drives it underneath Casey Anico. Well, that's a lot. Well, I mean, Balkan Films is on the inside lane, which is the better lane for him. At least not like Matthew Brown earlier, where he was stuck on the high line. Well, that's going to be the fate for Casey Anico, who is going to go a lap down once again. Well, that has allowed Matthew Brown to get to the close end of Balkan Films' bumper. We also got Dane Hemrick back up here, and Edwood, who we haven't talked about, well, hardly talked about at all this season, is now up here trying to battle. Team drivers must have won with a two-star strategy on the last caution. And Balkan Films now pulls away from the leaders, as now Matthew Brown is stuck trying to get around Casey Anico, who's having to take a very awkward racing line as not to collide with Casey Anico. This track may only be a mile long, but it sure is fast. And Balkan Films is now pulling quite the distance away from this lead pack, as Casey Anico is stuck on the outside line, and Daniel Hemrick now trying to stick with Matthew Brown. Although Matthew Brown not going to get ahead here, as now it's Daniel Hemrick has to contend with Casey Anico. Let's get a few Toyota Supras surrounding this part of the racetrack. That's part of the field, I should say. Anyways. So Matthew Brown now has a decent gap behind Balkan Films. He just can't drive once again. Ooh, a little bit of kerfuffle here. Balkan Films almost drives into the wall, but he's going to move right around. Can't drive with absolutely no trouble at all. Oh, Matthew Brown, though, slows up a little bit. And Can't Drive Volt's going to slow up. Daniel Hemrick and Casey Anico having some problems as well. Daniel Hemrick, that's going to completely ruin him. At the bottom line is now a bit of a freight train. That's something to see at a super speedway. You should see it here at a at an oval. Well, an oval that's not a super speedway. It's not even a mile and a half. So Casey Anico now holding up some more bottom lane cars. As Keyshawn Richards moves way up to third. That's a DJ Reed and Anthony Logan. Anthony Logan, who almost won last week's race, but just didn't have enough car to stay ahead of Matthew Brown. Yeah, Phil's still being up behind Casey Anico. And Casey Aniko, he's no slouch. He's speedy today. He's just... I'm not really sure what happened to him. I know that last caution. Maybe the pit crew messed up. Or something. I don't... Can't put my finger on it. Casey Aniko goes high, though. Actually, field is... Got a bit spaced out as Anthony Logan now goes high for some reason, which allowed John Doe to go by him. Now these two trying to get around Case and Yannico. Yeah. You know, Case and Yannico, he had the lead, but just couldn't keep the lead. Well, going too wide here seems to be a bit difficult. As now you have DJ Reed, who's now having to take a very awkward race line as Matthew Brown goes down pit road once again. Keyshawn Richardson that's going to pull out a bit ahead a little bit here. And Balcon Film still hasn't pitted yet. Not sure why Matthew Brown was pitting so early. Maybe he's trying to use what he learned at Sandown to be the faster car in this race. Guess tires are also a bit of a thing to worry about here. A bit of scraping the wall. It's a bit going 3 wide here. Here's Tyler Tomasi. Wow. I've hardly spoken of him all season. That guy has been the best driver. As Field heads down the road this time by. Oops. Likely going to be the second pit stops. As we look at one more round of pit stops later on in this race. So Balcon Films has been the dominant driver all day today. Wants to stay that way. And potentially win this race. Because Rizzi got a bit of a speedy entry, or speedy exit though. Matthew Brown though with the speed. Well. Now I'm sure this is for position. We're gonna have to see it in a little bit. And we'll have a better idea once pit stop cycle through. Bit of battling here as Balcon Films not having or trying to hold off these guys. I see right now the Logan's being scored for the lead. Oh, never mind. So Balcon Films actually about the second, and then Matthew Brown up the first. All right, that's his fourth position. Well now, Balcon Films, who has lost the lead as a result of that last pit stop cycle. See how long it takes for Balcon Films to get back up to Matthew Brown. So it's almost a 1 second gap. So we'll see if there is any position change. Actually, Keisha Richardson though not helping out Balcon Films' case at all. As now he's the one trying to get around Balcon Films' case. Matthew Brown now he's gonna get right by. Can't drive. He's gonna have his own problems. And Balcon Films will now lose his spot to Keyshawn Richardson. Peter Richardson is another driver that I've barely spoken about this season. First time he's really been up here, you know, doing as good as he has. Meanwhile, Matthew Brown. It's a little bit early to see, you know, just what's the gap going to wind up being at the end of this race. We still have one more pit stop cycle. Balcom Films actually now trying to move his way back around Keyshawn Richardson. Not the best day to do it just yet. All the top two have gained a little bit of ground on Matthew Brown. Must be the drafting. As long as Balcom Films just stays behind Keyshawn Richardson, then these two will catch up to Matthew Brown and be able to battle with him for the lead. And Balcom Films really wants to win this race, and there he goes back underneath Casey Anico. I mean, Keyshawn Richardson, the name sounds similar. Casey Anico, he's there, but he's a lap down, so it doesn't count, unfortunately. On that note, yeah, Balcom Films still trying to get around Keyshawn Richardson. And both drivers are, well, I would like to say both drivers are catching up to Matthew Brown. However, they might lose time. Yeah, they lost time back there. Now they're battling side by side. Man, you don't want to go side by side with anybody if you're trying to race down somebody for the lead. But fortunately for Balcom Films, he's now gone around Keyshawn Richardson again. And now can begin the chase to catch up to Matthew Brown. Balcom Films. Oh, but Keyshawn Richardson once again going beneath Balcom Films. Man, if these two continue to trade positions for second, they're not going to get anywhere close to Matthew Brown. Can't drive me while getting off the road. Actually, Casey and Anico now getting around, or trying to get around Balcom Films. Dear, oh dear. These have sure gotten interesting. And Casey Anico now going underneath Keyshawn Richardson. This is bad for these guys, though. If they keep playing around like this, they're never going to catch up to Matthew Brown. Even Matthew Brown catches up to the lead. A lot of traffic, he's all by himself, so he really doesn't have much to worry about. Yeah, they're losing time again. They need to stop battling and just navigate the track enough times to catch up to Matthew Brown. Because they can't catch up to Matthew Brown if they just stay tight and don't do anything stupid. Yeah, there goes Casey Anico now trying to get around Keyshawn Richardson and get around. Ay. Yeah. Man, it seems none of these three drivers can come to any sort of agreement with each other. And caution's out again. This will save him. Unfortunately, not Casey Anico. Oh dear! Oh no! It's a crash. Very bad for the leaders. Oh no! Oh wow! An absolute calamity for the leaders. 3-to-bomb motorsports cars actually getting into it. Some guys I haven't spoken about all day get involved in this accident. Wow. That's something you don't see every day. Well, let's see the caution. You saw the result of the crash, but let's see what actually caused the crash itself. Alright. And let's come on here. Also get started. Huh? Oh, here we go. Oh, that silly can't drive causes an accident once again as he spins around Chase Briscoe, who crashes into the outside wall hard. So he stops on the front straight away. Everyone nearly avoids him, although Free McShane likely going to come along here. Let's see. I don't know, Gregson and Free McShane who smacks into the back end of Chase Briscoe. Wow. Let's see that again. Let's see that from Can't Drive's point of view. Can't Drive, I mean. Oh dear. Not good. Just look at this from the helicopter camera. He was really getting roughed up by a lot of these guys. So what happens though is that Damon Blue goes beneath him. So does Nia, Oliver. Ryan C gets into a bit of a pickle here as he can't go anywhere. Winds up getting into Can't Drive, who gets into Chase Briscoe, who gets sent around. Can't Drive though, looks like he makes it unscathed, and Austin Murray nearly gets collected by Chase Briscoe. So Chase Briscoe, quite unfortunate for him. Everyone's just narrowly escaping him. As Chase Briscoe though was stuck. Now he's trying to get back at speed. The crash seems over, but then Noah Gregson come along and sideswipes Chase Briscoe, who slowed up a ton, and Freya McShane with absolutely nowhere to go for I don't know how many times this season. Freya McShane gets into an accident, smacks the back end of Balco Island Films, and now is just sitting on the racetrack. And now as the leaders come by, the last people you want to, get into in this race, they have absolutely nowhere to go. So it's with Keyshawn Richardson, who just comes by, trying to avoid the crash, but has nowhere to go, smacks into the back end of Freya McShane, and Balco Island Films, the leader, gets involved, and also a stack up for some of the other guys who are running up front. It's oh man. This is really going to ruin the day for some of these guys. Although that's the end of the day for Keyshawn Richardson, who was actually having a pretty good day after those pit stops. Well, unfortunately, that good day is officially over. And Freya McShane also with a blown engine. Man, oh man. Freya McShane has had the worst, probably the worst luck I've ever seen by a single driver. It's insane. And Matthew Brown was really at the time the only driver to make it through that crash unscathed. And these drivers likely come down pit road for the final time today. Well, we'll definitely see how the crash winds up for some of these more damaged cars. Some of the couples of more sports cars were actually moving up. Thomas Massey and Russell David. These two were actually having pretty good days until that crash. Hopefully, damages don't take too long to repair, and especially Balco Island Films, who's been the most dominant driver of the day. These guys might have a little bit of damage now. It's a shame. Yeah, so while more sports were starting to come to life in this race, well, unless the pit crews can fix the cars up, our life is going to be dead. Well, we'll see where everyone is once pit stops cycle through and occur. Looks like it didn't take that long for Balco Films, but I guess the next question though is, does Balco Films have the car left to still be a contender in this race, or has he ultimately given up to Matthew Brown? Geez, Briscoe really not staying out. He was the one that got spun. DJ Reed has moved up. That's quite a bit of a mess, with these drivers and the way they're going to be lining up for the restart. So those will likely be the final pit stops that we see for the day, and we will race all the way to the checkered flag, unless another caution comes out. Quite a messy lineup. Well, it seems for the Savannah Motorsports drivers, they lost quite a lot of spots. They're still going to be somewhat fast, but not as fast as they could be. It's a shame. Well now, let's see what the field looks like on the restart. Lights out once again. Oh, actually, just Briscoe, Casey, and Danico, they're going to stay on the high line. Austin Sinick, someone one lap down, he's now below. So, Anthony Alfredo up here as well, and Balco Films is now moved up to 4th, so... You know what, as long as Balco Films steals the car, he could still potentially come up with the victory, but he's got 3 more cars to pass. Well, 3 more cars to pass for position. He's got even more cars in front of him that are not racing for position. So ultimately, Matthew Brown is the one leading this race, and everyone in front of him is just lap down cars that are, for some reason, starting up here. So we'll see how the race goes now from Matthew Brown's perspective. So 25 laps to go. Any more pit stops are unlikely. So let's see where this race goes to the end. A green flag is back in the air at Keller Park Raceway. Feel already having to navigate around a very slow can't drive. At least 3 more cars to pass for Matthew Brown. And he speeds by Case Nanico and trying to get around Chase Briscoe as well. Oh, I was serious though, go down pit road. Might be a good idea to do that. Oh, field's getting squeezed up now. Anthony Alfredo up here. We don't usually speak of Anthony Alfredo, but here he is, running pretty well today actually for RCR. Chase Briscoe and Case Nanico still have a bit of speed. But Matthew Brown, ultimately the leader in this race as of right now. And how long can Matthew Brown keep it? So he's going to get around Case Nanico here. Case Nanico, though, still as fast as he's been in this whole race, so he's going to left down again, but that's not going to deter him from going. Here is Anthony Alfredo. Anthony Alfredo running on a part-time schedule for RCR. Is running in second. Oh, but he's going to lose a bit of... How did he lose the ground there? That was weird. So now Sebastian Kuckel on to get up here. Yeah, I'm not quite sure after Anthony Alfredo, but for some reason he just lost all of his momentum. Must be some kind of failure with his car that just happened there. Must have been exerting his car a little bit too much. Meanwhile, Matthew Brown now going to get around a damaged Chase Briscoe. Chase Briscoe looks like he's still pretty fast considering the events of this race. That's not to say passing is going to be easy though. And Case Nanico's actually got a bit of a gap. Oh, now it's about for a second between Anthony Logan and Anthony Alfredo. So now the Anthony's going at it. And here is Nia, who, no, this is for position. Nia trying to have a redemption arc after her completely just embarrassing move last week. Still stings Nia. So now she's trying to get redemption for letting the pressure get to her. That might be easier said than done though, as Anthony looking to hold his position ahead of Anthony Alfredo, who's got a bit of a gap now between him and Matthew Brown. Matthew Brown actually a second ahead on the pack. So the field trying to separate and get to the back end of Matthew Brown. Well, unless dear Botcom Film's actually losing a lot of spots. Wow. Well, that's unfortunate for Botcom Films. It looked like he had a real shot at winning this race, but unfortunately, the crash just broke his car. Shame. So now it's up to Matthew Brown. Last week, and funnily enough, we happen to have the same one too in this race that we did last week at Sandown. Matthew Brown once again going for the win, but Anthony Logan trying to stay behind him. Last weekend it was a battle between old tires and new tires. This week though, well, it's just a race of who's the fastest as Can Drive scrapes the wall again. Anthony Logan still trying to get around these guys and get around Case Nanico to get his just to get to him. You have to hustle though. This race is almost over. This race is almost over. Anthony Logan less than a second behind Matthew Brown. Oh, dearie, dearie me. Matthew Brown, though, with quite the gap. But it's not over yet. Anthony Logan is gaining ground on Matthew Brown, little by little. If you just get to the back of him, and ultimately overtake him, he could win, but he's gonna have to speed it up. Because this race is almost over. So Anthony Logan, he's running out of time. And he's gonna try to get around Case Danico. And Anthony Logan goes right on by. No messing around. Anthony Logan successfully overtakes Casey Nanico. So now, it's clear sailing for Anthony Logan, as he now has another 12 laps to catch up to Matthew Brown and get redemption for being unable to hold off Matthew Brown last weekend at Sandown. So it looks like the country of Australia has been taken over by Anthony Logan and Matthew Brown in the Siemens Nash Series, at least. A pair of NROL guys who haven't even completed the full season yet, already trying to drive like veterans. As Matthew Brown has the lead, but Anthony Logan not giving up. And Logan is pulled away from the rest of the field. So as long as no one else to worry about, he does have a legit shot at coming in with a victory. And the gap is closing. Maybe Logan's got to work a little bit harder than that. 10 laps to go. Wow. For the second week in a row in this series, it might come down to a last lap pass. Sebastian Coquelin, though, is now slowly but surely catching up to Anthony Logan. And Logan, though, makes up a little bit of ground. And here comes Can't Drive. One more time is going to be a bit of a moving chicane here. Oh, Matthew Brown breaks a bit. Oh, but so is Anthony Logan. Oh, he skids up a bit. That made absolutely no difference, Sebastian Coquelin, oh man, he's now behind Anthony Logan. Man, Anthony Logan doesn't need this. He just needs to catch up to Matthew Brown. But now, Sebastian Coquelin now trying to gain an extra spot on Anthony Logan. Anthony Logan having to do his best to keep Sebastian Coquelin behind him as I keep messing everyone's names. Meanwhile, Nia also moving up her way through the pack. Nia trying to get redemption for last week in the Cup Series. Man. Can't Anthony Logan, though, close the gap quick enough. He's got to speed up. He is running out of time. 6 laps to go, this time by. Anthony Logan closing the gap by a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. He's got to be faster than that, though. As if Anthony Logan can't get close enough to the back end of Matthew Brown, he could ultimately catch the draft. But even that's going to be a bit of a tall order. 5 laps to go. It's now a bit of a reverse of last week. Can Anthony Logan catch up to Matthew Brown? And here's the thing, though. Even if he catches up to Matthew Brown, he's still going to overtake him. How hard is that going to be? Now the field closing in behind Anthony Logan. He's got quite a bit of pressure now. The gap closes again. Slowly but surely. At best, he's got 3 more laps to get to Matthew Brown. Ooh, the gap closed up a little bit more. I think Logan might actually have a bit of help from the guys behind him. But Sebastian Coquelin really not helping out Anthony Logan's case. Every lap the gap gets tighter and tighter. But Matthew Brown has done pretty well so far with the remaining laps to keep the lead. We have yet to see a back-to-back winner in the Siemens National Series. And Sebastian Coquelin gets underneath Anthony Logan, who just can't quite close the gap in time. Sebastian Coquelin goes beneath Anthony Logan and messes him up. Wow. Anthony Logan probably couldn't get to the back end of Matthew Brown fast enough, so Sebastian Lugo doing everything they can to make up an extra spot. And meanwhile, Nia trying to come up with a good finish in this race. But white flag, one more lap to go. Matthew Brown in the lead once again in the country of Australia. And Matthew Brown leads them on the final lap. Nobody behind him for half a second. It's clear sailing for Matthew Brown. And he comes off of turn number 4. Matthew Brown will win the Downer 250 at College Park Raceway and will sweep Australia in the Siemens National Series. How about that? Back-to-back wins for Matthew Brown, and he sweeps Australia. So Matthew Brown is now the winningest NROL driver in the country of Australia. Wow. Man, Matthew Brown, we really haven't seen much from him back in the States. But it seems traveling to Australia was the ticket for Matthew Brown to be successful. I wonder if Matthew Brown is secretly Australian and we just don't know it. Well, either way, he's a back-to-back winner in the country of Australia. How about that? Well, it looked like Anthony Logan might have been able to catch up to Matthew Brown, but unfortunately, he comes up short for winning for the second week in a row. And Dan Boot just cruising on the back straightaway like we got a fuel, and same thing for Case and Yannico. Wow. How about that, though, from Matthew Brown and Anthony Logan, too. Anthony Logan, for the second week in a row, comes up short from winning. So, hey, I mean, Anthony Logan did pretty good in Australia as well, but Matthew Brown is ultimately the successor of them all, and Matthew Brown is your winner today. So, with that in mind, Matthew Brown, your winner. Your winner overall in Australia for the second time. That is quite something. With Sebastian Logan coming in second, Anthony Logan third, Nia fourth, Jose Mills fifth, Ryan Seek sixth, David Blue seventh, Austin Murray eighth, Lucky Fitzwater Sr. ninth, Greg Graff 10th, Cody Goforth 11th, Just Nearly 12th, Henry 13th, Dynamic 14th, Harrison Burton 15th, Balcom Films, who, unfortunately for him, falls all the way back down to 16th after getting some damage as of that crash. Balcom Films won't not be about that. Washington coming up at 17th, Andrew Farrell 18th, Riley Ups 19th, A. John at 20th, Who Lex Post 21st, Michael at 22nd, Just No Guard 23rd, No Greg 24th, so a few JRM guys getting into each other. Brandon Jones 25th, Ray Irvin 26th, Shane Lamb 27th, Bomber at 28th. Wow, now they got some manufactured guys getting each other. That's something. Russell David coming up at 29th, Keith Danico 30th, Chase Briscoe 31st, DJ Reed 32nd, Nathan Mon 33rd, Marshall at 34th, Terrence Madison 35th, Owen Sinek 36th, Kent Drive 37th, Edward 38th, John Doe 39th, Keisha Richardson 40th, Free McShane 40th, and that is running out of the field. So Free McShane, will Free McShane ever have any good luck in the series at this point? It's hard to tell. Well, anyways, that is all for the Siemens National Series in Australia. Next race, though, we'll be back in the States, and it might be a little bit of a while before the next Siemens National Series race. But that is all for this race. That is all for this race, indeed. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in whatever I make next.